Daddy, where do babies come from?
Honey?
Mommy went to the store.
Oh, well, you see, there's a mommy and a daddy, right?
Right.
And see, when they call Geico, they could save a bunch of money on car insurance.
Oh, really? And that makes them happy?
Yes, that makes them very happy.
That's good.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we could have this talk, Sunshine.
Geico, because saving 15% or more on car insurance is always a great answer.
Welcome to the War Room. We got Dev, Kill, Jimmy, PJ, B. Austin, the Hot Block Commander. How you want it in a 1 or 2 hour show to keep the brain running with the premise to talk sports on a national level. Bold with the topic, sort of like some rebels when it's game time. They like the Fab Five during prime time. Sports conglomerates speak their minds a little bit. For sports medicine and sports veterans and greats. The 4th and 26th, so the war in Kuwait. It's the War Room with 5 nights at the round table. 5 Philly guys, diversified and educated.
What up, good people out there of War Room Nation? You are once again live in the War Room, brought to you by War Room Sports and the War Room Sports Podcast Network. I'm one of your hosts, Dev McMillan, and I'm at the round table today with my brother, Jimmy the Blueprint. Look, man, the Barnum versus Bailey fight was much better than expected. I will admit that. So we'll recap that as well as discuss the other big stories in the world of sports. So keep it locked right here. Also, make sure you join us right now in the JW Philly Realty chat room at blogtalkradio.com/The War Room, or join us on Facebook or Twitter at War Room Sports. You can also call us directly in about 5 minutes when we open up the Digital Extreme Tech hotline. That number is 323-410-0012. Look, everybody, during the week, this is what we need you to do. When we're not live on the air, be sure to check out the War Room Sports Podcast Network. Besides our own podcast, The War Room, you can also shows such as the Street Line, Roy and the Tissue and the Tape Hip Hop Show with Phil Mack and John with the Birds, on Wilson, Cover 2 with McMillan and Purdue, By the Hood with Jimmy the Blueprint and Corey Camp, and we'd like to welcome our newest show to the network, Race Haven Radio with Dr. Scott Speed. Just visit warroomsports.com and click the WRS Podcast Network tab, or go to our free mobile app and click the network tab there. What up, Blueprint?
What's good, family? How you?
I'm good, man. We go from the solar eclipse to Hurricane Harvey. What's the deal?
Yo, that's the Earth and Mother Nature's way of fighting back. With all the nonsense going on in the world, man. Gotta cleanse itself.
Yeah, Mother Earth, like FOH.
It's sad though. It's sad though, yo. It's sad though. Them pictures and everything you see is real sad.
Yeah, I don't know why. I never really researched the reasons why Houston, Texas always floods like that. Like I was there for the beginning of that storm that flooded that city like that back in 2001. Luckily I was there for the weekend and, there for a short enough period for me to get out without being trapped or anything like that, man. But prayers go out to everybody down in Houston, down in Port Arthur, everybody on the Gulf Coast that's being affected by this. Is crazy, man. Like, it's just a different twist in America every week, man. 1 week you got the Nazis rallying, and you got a solar eclipse when everybody's happy, and then you got a situation like this that's messed up. But you got some good folks out there. There's a lot of people down there trying to help out and saving lives, donating money, donating time, donating boats and pickup trucks or whatever they can. So shout out to all of those good folks down there helping out the situation, man.
Yeah, definitely salute to them. Yeah, man, salute to them, man. Like, because it's funny because it's like anytime this happens, I feel like I need to do something. So I've been finding like local charities that are going out there because it's difficult to give to like the Red Cross and some of the big boys when you know where your bread is going.
In the past.
Yeah. Shout out to Hank Rawson, who was a co-founder of Haiti Relief. That's a joke, by the way, y'all. But Hank will get it when he listens. But no, man. So it's a difficult thing. It's a difficult thing, man, because you want to do something, but you also don't want to waste your money on something foolish when you can really help somebody get something. So there's people from all over the country. There's people in Jersey. people from Philadelphia taking trucks down there. So shout out to our man Don from 254 Black, who actually drove down. He was up here collecting canned goods and clothes. Like, so there's people like, showing that, when people are in need, people are willing to step up, and that's always a beautiful thing to see. It's just like, and I hate to say this, but it's the truth. If we can come together like this when it's not like a tragedy, then it's a shame that it takes. It's sort of like when you go to a funeral and your family be like, man, we got to get together one of these funeral.
Right. And then don't see him again until the next funeral.
To the next funeral, right? Yeah. Yeah, man. But it's definitely interesting, man. Interesting times that we're living in. Like you said, every week is like something that's just like ridiculously crazy. It's nothing small, like solar eclipses and Nazi rallies and hurricanes. It's like, damn.
No. It is crazy, man. But I got some people down there in Houston, man. So shout out to my loved ones. Everybody's safe. As a matter of fact, most of the people I know in Houston are out helping people who were more affected than they were.
Yeah.
So shout out to that. Like Jimmy said, everybody coming together, man. No black, no white, no politics. You know what I mean? Just people coming together to help other people. But let's get into some sports talk, man. We got some hot topics for y'all, and hot topics are brought to you by Sports the Book. You guys tired of reading the same old sports books with the same tired old sports lists, rankings, imaginary starting lineups, and all sorts of subjective information being passed off as facts? Well, be sure to pick up your copy of Sports. Smart people only read the sports. It's a mixture of sports and hip-hop culture that will keep you on the edge of your seat and to keep you laughing as well, like you're watching a comedy special. So just go to sportsthebook.com or get your copy from our website at warroomsports.com. Just don't miss the movement. And I didn't mention, it was written by War Room Sports' own Jimmy the Blueprint.
Yes, sir.
That's right. All right, Sports the Book, still doing well. All right,
yes,
so
sir.
Floyd Mayweather, Conor McGregor. We got to discuss it. Leading up to the fight, the whole time, I was a part of the contingent that said the fight was probably disrespectful to the sweet science. I don't, fall back on that. I still believe that the spectacle of it in itself, the pure fact that a 50-0 fighter considered one of the greatest of all time gave the time of day to a mixed martial artist with a 0-0 boxing record. But I will admit this, the Barnum versus Bailey fight, pretty okay. Wasn't bad at all. It definitely was better than the big one that we waited like 10 years for between Mayweather and Pacquiao. It was definitely better than Mayweather's 49th fight that was supposed to be his last against Andre Berto. So, I kind of enjoyed it. After all the stuff that I talked. I kind of enjoyed it. What were your thoughts on the fight? Because I know you were watching too.
Yo, here's the thing, right? It wasn't the best boxing match that you'll ever see.
No,
it wasn't even a great boxing match. But it was action. It was entertaining. And a lot of the entertainment, to be honest with you, was based upon the fact that everybody thought he shouldn't be in the ring with him. And also Floyd's approach, because Floyd was moving forward the entire time. So it actually definitely made for a more exciting fight. And listen, man, B. Austin has talked about it before, the whole concept of how race plays a part in combat sports, right? So until McGregor started talking, that talk that he said, none of us even cared an inch about it. So that played a huge part in it. And for me, also, just the social aspect of this fight. And I hate to politicize everything because, like, some things shouldn't be politicized. But the fact of the matter is this, right? What I found interesting about this fight overall is the amount of people, I do have white people on my friends list, believe it or not, folks out there listening. It's not all woke room sports, but it is. So it was interesting to me because these are the same people who are like, why is Kaepernick kneeling? We're all about America, America, America. And they weren't rooting for Floyd, who's an American. They were rooting for someone else. So to me, that was kind of that part was kind of interesting to me. Like, and then the excuses they used when I called them on it. You know what I mean? Like, well, it's just like, I just don't like Floyd because he's arrogant. And I'm like, well, what is McGregor? And that's the other part of it too. Like,
we
McGregor
thought it was America first, though.
Yeah, it's always America first until it's like somebody you don't like, then it's not America first. And that's another interesting point too, is how many people love McGregor but hate Floyd, but the reason they hate Floyd is exactly what McGregor is.
McGregor is the MMA carbon copy of Floyd.
Yeah, he literally stole his blueprint. He was like, okay, so, you know, this is how he promotes himself, and because of it, like, here's the thing, McGregor has skill inside the octagon. So it's a combination of his skill versus the fact that he runs his mouth. He's not the most skilled person, but he talks more than anybody. So, right. You know, he's a master marketer. I mean, think about it. My man talks his way into $100 million bag. That is, he can fight in MMA for 20 more years and wouldn't get that amount of money. Unless somehow he's able to.
Why do you think after being TKO'd in a 10-round bout, he seemed like the happiest man in America? Because he had no business being in there in the first place. He know that he would never make this kind of money in his lifetime with his current profession. Like, you're absolutely right when you said that. Like, he talked his way into a win-win situation, and he won as soon as he got Floyd to sign on the dotted line for this fight. So, you know, a lot of people didn't understand why he was so happy after the fight. Like, if you don't understand that, something's wrong with you.
Because I saw when he won the championship, he didn't seem this happy when he won his first chip. Like, he just didn't.
Wasn't enough bread behind it.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, and the thing is, the only way he can make this money is if somehow he's able to leverage this, because now he definitely is a household name. His value went up. His value went up. The price of a brick then went up. Shout out to Marlo. But so now it's like, okay, if he can raise, but even if he raises the stock of himself and also just UFC in general, $100 million bags you just don't get, because outside of Floyd, nobody in boxing will get that no more. Nobody.
Right.
So,
nobody else is going to be able to get him that. But even, you know, you got his man, his best friend, Paulie Malignaggi, talking trash, trying to get a match now, because he figures, you know, McGregor is going to hold that card, so that's a bag for him. You know, he's not the superstar that Floyd is, but Paulie could get a bigger payday than he's ever got, probably, if he can lure McGregor into the ring. So now he's talking trash. I'm like, yo, this is so WWE. Man, I'm from the 80s. It's so WWF right now. Like,
it's crazy. It's crazy because that's essentially what it's become. You know, it's literally what you just said. It's wrestling. You know what I mean? But, you know, here's the thing, though. If you remember this, when he came with the whole money persona, that was after him going on WWE. Like, Vince McMahon, people can say what they want to say about him, but my man Vince McMahon finds a way to make money off of everything, from race.
You know, Vince brought him in the office and helped him out with that.
Vince McMahon makes money off race, homophobia, stereotypes, like sexism. Yo, everything there is. Like, my man took Dusty Rhodes' son and made him Goldust. It was like, you know, homoerotic. He played on the whole race thing. And the thing about this, even when we were kids, Hulk Hogan, who was his rivals when we were kids? Like Nikolai Volkov, a Russian guy in the Iron Sheik. Like, really?
From the other countries.
Yeah, like, and he's the real American. I'm the real American, and all that kind of nonsense. He had like
Nikita Cola,
Nation of Domination. So the thing is, my man Vince McMahon finds a way to, like, you know, he's a master marketer, and, you know, Floyd used that to make as much money as humanly possible. He milked the sport for as much as he can get. You know, so salute to him for that. And my man,
LeVar Ball's game stepped up after he went on WWE.
Absolutely. Like, listen, man, Vince McMahon is giving master classes in marketing, man. Capitally there. Look what he did for The Rock. The Rock went to WWE, worked with Vince McMahon, and now The Rock is the biggest. Up until this year, The Rock was like I think the number one paid actor in Hollywood.
He like the new Will Smith. Like, he put The Rock in an action movie, and he getting like $20 million back.
He just got passed by Mark Wahlberg,
which is weird, because like Wahlberg is new, but but he's been getting in some bigger movies. You know, he'd be in the Transformer series and stuff like that. So there's more money to pass around in those movies. So about the fight itself, like, I was surprised. You know what I'm saying? I think Conor McGregor, because a lot of people out there, we know Floyd is such a polarizing figure. He has some people who will just, man, I really know people who might just fight for Floyd just because somebody's saying something negative about Floyd in an argument. I'm talking about like fist fight. Like, people will go to the wall for Floyd. And, you know, there was a lot of stuff out there where people talking about karma and he kicked this dude's butt and this and that. And Floyd almost killed him and this. I think people like were looking kind of at what they wanted to see. I'm not saying it was definitely it was a definitive win. You know what I'm saying? The TKO, whether you think they stopped it early or they didn't, you know, it's not anything where people are going to sit around and say somebody got robbed. But in the grand scheme of things, there were legitimately people that we speak to every day, and people, respected boxing analysts on TV, shout out Max Kellerman, who legitimately said that this dude wouldn't land one punch in a boxing match. And he basically controlled maybe the first 5 rounds, at least 4 out of the first 6. He controlled of the fight, and that surprised me. What didn't surprise me is how it ended up. Like, he's a MMA fighter who's never fought past 25 minutes in his life. You know, he wore down. And even when the TKO came, I don't think Floyd, and I had somebody here with me watching the fight who was acting like Floyd never missed a shot in that last onslaught. And we're watching the slow motion replays of Floyd missing, at least half of those shots, and the dude still wouldn't admit that Floyd was missing the shots. I'm like, yo, when you love somebody, you just see things differently, man. Like that, like watching the polarizing figure like Floyd is just like a study in just human. I don't know, man. This the mindset is crazy, but I was really surprised. I think even when the onslaught came that stopped the fight, I don't think he was hurt. I think he was just exhausted and just couldn't lift his arm. What were your thoughts?
Yeah. Which is still a TKO. But I agree with you.
You got to defend yourself.
He more than held his own. Put it like this: he didn't embarrass himself. Because a lot of us thought that, some people went as far as, like you said, saying he wouldn't land a punch, and we disagree with that. But a lot of us thought that it would be embarrassing, right? So we thought that he would get out there and embarrass himself, and he didn't do that. So he held his own in that regard, in terms of just not embarrassing himself. He showed that he wasn't a professional boxer. He didn't know how to clinch appropriately. He was throwing hammer fists, like, which is, and the broadcast mentioned, like, that's probably like a natural thing just because that's how he's been fighting.
It was drawn though. So like, at what point were you going to take a point? Like, he kept just hammering him in the back of his head. Like a few of the ones where I know a lot of people were complaining, Floyd, he would go behind him and he was punching him. Some of that was Floyd. Like, you just don't turn your back on somebody because if the ref doesn't stop it, he can do what he wants to you. But Floyd, like more than anybody else, protect yourself at all times. Ask Victor Ortiz. But I was pleasantly surprised because I'd been calling this a circus, which it was the whole time. But
and what's interesting to me is this. What's interesting to me is this, though. It's like Floyd, and I know a lot of people don't want to hear this. Even though he controlled the fight, he said he had his game plan, he stuck to it, he won the fight. He still didn't look as fast to me as Floyd previously was.
He looked 40.
Which led me to believe that, although McGregor looked okay in this fight, what happens if McGregor fights Triple G, or if he fights Canelo, or if he fights Andre Ward?
It's not going to be a TKO. They're going to have to take him out of the ring in a stretcher.
This is going to be called, he's going to get an Apollo Creed KO.
He's going to be on the floor twitching. If he dies, he dies.
Yo, that's crazy, man. So,
in the movie.
Yeah, that's hard. Like, how you say that and and you kill somebody, like, and just not care. But anyway,
I know, right? Like he talked that much trash, he got you that mad. all in your feelings that if he dies, like, it's whatever, man. You shouldn't have said that. but yeah, Floyd was out there, you know, he was looking like a grown man.
Come after
he was
me.
Definitely...
I'm a man. I'm 40.
You
Absolutely.
can tell.
And it's interesting.
I'm 40 and
it's crazy. And it's crazy because, like, the overall, the thing was, it definitely was entertaining. You know what I mean? So they did give us that. So, you know, you got to give them credit for just, if nothing else, for being entertaining.
Right. Like I said, with the arguments we had about him landing a punch, like, you know, I would take, I'm not a betting man, and I would have taken that bet any day. I actually tried to take that bet. And, you know, the people who said it, you know, they just disappeared, you know, once you said bet. But, I mean, he landed a lot of shots. I mean, if I can recall correctly, I don't have it in front of me. He may have landed like 111 shots or something like that. And he got a few good ones in. It wasn't like he didn't get any clean ones. Because that was my thing. I'm like, okay, I know when people say he's not going to land a punch, like, I tried to give them that out. Like, you know, are you meaning like, you know, something clean, something that's going to hurt him, that type of thing? And people just doubled down like, no, he won't land a punch. But you find out, you know, those are fans, you know. I mean, some of them were actually respectable, boxing, knowledgeable people, but they're also, you know, your fandom for somebody gets in the way of, you know, of just, I don't know. I don't want easy to hear something like that.
No. I mean, but when you think about it, right? I mean, that's just the way that things are these days, man. It's like that in everything within culture, whether it's music, whether it's movies. I mean, I watch battle rap, and it's like, yo, a match will come up, and before, like, so literally, it'll be uploaded to YouTube to say 10 a.m. By 10:01 a.m., they'd be like, yo, such and such lost. You'd be like, yo, you didn't watch it yet. So
the battle raps be like an hour.
It'd be like 10:01. They'd be like, yeah, he got 3-0. I'm like, yo, there's no way you watched it yet. It's like that in movies, music. It's like that with everything. It's like, yo,
lose all rational thought. It's gone.
But the scariest part about all that is how that has become our politics now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's okay for that to be our hearts, right? It's okay for that to be when we argue in music or we argue in, you know, who's the best point guard in the league. Yeah. But it's literally that way in politics now, where it's like, you got to decide and you got to choose.
Right.
Yeah, that's the scary part.
All right, well, let's go to the phone line because I will see some people on here who probably want to talk about this. We got the homie Tobias calling in from out in AZ. Tobias, what's going on, good brother? You in the war room?
Hey, what's up, man? If you hear noise, I'm in a truck. I had to make this quick. First,
you on your way to help some people, man?
Rescuing people?
Hey, yeah, man. Hey, man, you don't want the Underground Railroad right now.
Jim, he either rescuing or trafficking.
Hey, I'm rescuing. For the record, I'm rescuing. But first things first, I think Floyd implemented a lot of strategy in that fight because the books in Vegas, they had it over under 9.5 rounds. And I think part of a deeper issue is Floyd probably like, we're going to do business here, so I ain't going to embarrass your man. Because you notice when Floyd decided to turn on the heat, McGregor couldn't do nothing. Because his other thing also, Floyd didn't even throw any punches really in the first couple of rounds.
But Tobias, you also got to think about Floyd didn't turn on the heat until McGregor's MMA clock expired. Like, so, you know, he even said it after the fight. Like, I know how long their fights are, and I know he's never been past a certain point. So, you know, I don't know if he actually left. Okay, now I'm going to show you why I'm a world-class boxer and why you're an MMA dude. So,
yeah. And the thing is, white people were sick. Now they're trying to spin it. I don't like, dude, you step him in that ring right now, like said y'all saying Andre Ward, Triple G, you might be glad Floyd Mayweather's 40 years old. This ain't 32-year-old Floyd. And Floyd knows he's done. But I got to hit on this because, you know, it's college football weekend, and you know what that means. We call it the Roll Tide Invitational. Let y'all know this right now.
Or get rolled by the tide. Invitational.
Hey, Florida State has a bad offensive line, and they play a pro-style offense. They are going to get embarrassed on national TV. This is going to be Alabama going to make their own Trail of Tears this weekend. Just letting you know that right now. Here's the thing. All right. With Alabama, when a team beats them and use that team to play the best game of their lives, and usually a great quarterback save a couple of exceptions to beat Alabama and usually down to the last play. But the thing is, Florida State offensive line is bad. If you got a bad offensive line against Alabama, you in trouble.
No doubt. And your boy Fred is he's coming on in about a half an hour.
Oh, Lord. Oh, so you can make an excuse for Tom Brady?
No, he's talking that
Make
college
America great.
Hey, I'm pretty sure
Fred about that Make America great.
Interject Brady and Belichick into a college football segment. But
hey, ask him about that hat. But if I say this real quick also, I know y'all going to touch on it where like Cleveland with that trade, and they was trying to be slick. To me, that's bad business because the other team is going to believe you're shady now. Because you knew that man was injured. You knew all that stuff was out there. And you see those reports. Now he's trying to be slick and trying to slick one of those young players to a higher pick. To me, that's shady. And why would anyone want to trade with you if you're going to be shady like that?
Well, here's the thing. When the league puts the word down, when the league puts the word down, like, yo, we need to continuously make noise and keep being talked about, you got to do what you got to do, man.
Yeah, I feel you on that, man. I'll say this and I'll go. I don't know if I'll be able to call it next week, so I'll go ahead and say it. I believe my Buccaneers may actually win the division, man. I don't know because I don't buy the Cam Newton. I always thought Cam Newton was overrated. Drew Brees, the Saints can't stop a nosebleed. And I think Matt Ryan has always been all right. He had a great year with a great coordinator. But I wonder how they're going to be with that Super Bowl hangover. But I believe my Bucs may make the playoffs, man. If they get a good running game and Jameis start trying to throw the ball off when you don't see his pants, I think they'll be all right.
That's because of the Super Bowl hangover. That's, one of the reasons y'all really do have a chance. Like, it's weird, but, people just don't make the playoffs after losing the Super Bowl. And the way they lost the Super Bowl, I can't see them getting up to play a preseason game, let alone going out there and trying to put together another season like that.
Hey, and you guys have a good one. And
right,
a.k.a. Tobias, a.k.a. the Black Pete Rose, is going to tell y'all, take Ohio State in Indiana over 56.5 points. So, hey, but buy y'all kids, y'all listen to me, y'all can be able to buy y'all kids some Christmas presents this year. Y'all take it easy.
All right,
yes, sir. Take it easy, homie.
It's crazy. Be safe out there. There's always the conspiracy theorists, Jimmy's homies, people that's saying that they think the fight was either staged. Some people went as far as to say that Conor McGregor threw the fight. It was a part of him getting that bag the way he got it. I don't think there was any throwing involved. I legitimately think the dude got tired. Staged is just however you mean. The whole fight was staged. We're going to put a MMA fighter in here who's never boxed professionally before against the greatest boxer in the world. That's staging, but staging and scripted, two different things. Like, I don't think they went out and told them what punches to throw and how to react and what round to go down in.
No, I wasn't staged.
Beat him up.
No, it definitely wasn't staged, man. But at the end of the day, it's boxing, so there's like rumors of fights being staged going back to the beginning of time because, it's probably easier to stage that than any other sport. But fact of the matter is, man, like it was a night where it seemed like everybody won because most fans enjoyed it. People that love Floyd, he dominated and won every round and every minute. People that love McGregor somehow got a win out of this too. Like I've seen people that were McGregor fans that so much the pro-American, and they were talking like you would think that he won the fight. Look at the courage he showed. Someone said he's the real life Rocky. They said Rocky didn't beat Apollo Creed in the first one, but he's the real life Rocky. So McGregor fans were going they're out of control too. Floyd fans out of control. So that's seems like everybody won.
Whole world out of control. Yeah, everybody did, except for the people who paid $100. They didn't totally get ripped off like they have in past Floyd fights, but it was a little steep.
Yeah, that's a tough thing. That's a tough thing though, right? Because I remember as a kid, my grandfather had this big fight party, and he went into like the kitchen to like bring out the snacks or whatever, and he had people over, paid all this money, and this happened to be the Tyson Spinks fight.
Oh, everybody missed that fight when they went to get snacks.
Yo, and I saw it, so like it was a bunch of us sitting there, but he missed it, and he was pissed for years after that. And I'm like, well, you got to see the replay. It was kind of exciting, but it's like, it's either you don't really get fights where you feel like you got your money's worth unless Arturo Gatti was fighting. I mean, other than that.
Picture this. I got a story for you real quick about that same fight. Picture, you just a different type of dad back in those days, and you take your two sons to, I believe it was Atlantic City, to see this fight. Now, being as ungrateful as they were, they crying about being hungry at the wrong time. You go out to the concession stand to get some hot dogs. You come back, the fight's over. That you paid money for 3 tickets to get into. Shout out, rest in peace to my Uncle Pasha, man. Them damn twins. Them damn twins, man.
R.I.P. Pasha, man. That was my guy. But that's a crazy story, man.
But it's the same for your grandfather, though, man. You threw a bash. Hey, you footing the bill for everything. Like, you probably spent just as much money as buying a ticket.
So it was like 20 people. I would never forget that. The only reason I never forget it is because that was like the last Tyson fight that he ordered. Because he was everybody loved Tyson back then. Like, old heads, young boys, everybody loved Tyson.
But it was risky. But it was a risky buy. Yeah, it Tyson was a risky buy, yeah. Like, you pay like $50 and get like 16 seconds of fury. Like,
but that also shows you how sick we are, right? Because we're literally excited and paying money to see him hurt somebody.
No doubt.
Floyd go out there and show like boxing skills and outclass and just outpoint somebody. The whole fight. And you're like, man, that's boring. They want to see somebody get their head knocked off.
You're like, stop running, fight. Yeah, that's why he still got a head on his shoulders and can still make money because he ain't out there, like the rest of them savages. But shout out to them, man. It was a better show than I expected. We got another call on the line. I think that's the homie Rob out in Cali. Rob, what's going on, good brother? You in the war room?
Yo, what's up, man? Yo, what's good, man? Your boy Big Rob, man. AKA, ladies call me Sticky Fingers. AKA, it's hot outside. Come inside like a slip and slide. It's a slip and slide. Sorry. AKA, what's good, man? How y'all doing?
Pretty good, man. How you?
AKA, what's good? How y'all doing?
Yo.
Also known as what's good, y'all.
Yo, hey, the angry fan is back, and I got bone to pick of one of y'all callers. Give me an ignorant post on Facebook about something about dudes trying to holler at females in Houston. Man, listen, man, I know it's fun and games, but yo, man, it ain't funny, dude, man. Yo, Tobias, put the pipe down, just sit your country ass down, you know what I'm saying? Relax, man.
What are you talking about, man? What happened? You lost me. What happened?
Yo.
Tobias did what? What Tobias do?
He said something about dudes be trying to holler at Houston chicks or something like that. That's in distress. I'm like, something in the I know he was joking around, but still, man, come on now.
All right, man, what you want to talk about sports related?
Listen, no, he's talking about thirsty dudes out here using Hurricane Harvey in a way to inbox chicks in Houston. Man, listen, dude, I got one of my shorties in Houston. And last thing I thought about was games. I thought about safety, dude. It's not funny. It's not games. The last thing I thought about. But anyway, all I got to say, speaking of college football, I'm rooting for UNC Chapel Hill. And can't wait basketball get back. But I won't put in football. I'm also rooting for my USC Trojans. All right, Hopefully they get the job done. Hopefully that quarterback, the pro-style offense looks good. You know, hopefully somebody picks it up in the draft. The fight. Let's get to the fight. It was better than what I thought it would be. I think Jimmy has a good point of it being rigged because if you look at the scorecards, one of the scorecards, they only scored McGregor, I guess, winning only one round. Before, like, you know, winning the rest, but it's not really accurate, you know. So can it be rigged? Possibly, because, you know, unless you're Stevie Wonder, you know, we all see he won the first 3 rounds. McGregor won the first 3 rounds.
Yeah, I can't see it being rigged just because anybody who, you know, really analyzed the fight with any intelligence probably saw this coming. Not the fact that McGregor would control the early part of the fight, not that he would land as many shots as he would land, but at some point he would get tired. You know what I'm saying? Like, who didn't see that? So that's what I don't understand.
You know, that's a good point too. I mean, I kind of get tired because I kind of knew he was gonna lose. I mean, it's obvious, but I knew he was gonna lose because one, he didn't. To me, I don't know about y'all could correct y'all know more than me, but I didn't see really him or hearing about him using a boxing trainer to train for this fight. And like I told people, man, I was trying to educate, but you can't educate people because always say, oh, Floyd's gonna run, Floyd's going, especially MMA guys. It's like, dude, if you want to see pure tactical fighting, you go to boxing. If you want to see guys brutalize each other, pump with each other, you go to MMA.
Rob.
Yeah.
Rob, somebody called back in to holler at you, man. Hold on. Tobias, you're
Hey, man, look here. Hey, look here, you got a problem with me. My number 843-276-3616. Don't be no punk-ass, mark-ass bitch on this show. You call me right now, man to man, you got something to say to me. Talk to him. Hey, how about you get the panties out of a bunch, start taking yourself so seriously? Like I said, I'm a man. You can inbox me, and I gave my phone number. You want to holler at me. Be a man about it. Don't wait till I'm off the line. You know where to find me. You got a problem.
Okay. I'll take him on that.
All right, y'all rap. We'll give you his number.
Somebody else wants.
All right, Tobias, man. We holler at you.
Can't we all just get along?
Oh, come on.
He said, let him back on. I didn't know he was going to fire at you like that. I thought y'all was cool. Turn it to the Springer Show, man. Will we be wrong to advertise that as a part of the episode? But all right, Rob, give us your thoughts real quick. Well, you know, next week we're gonna do our football special. We're gonna try to get Jimmy to give his picks, even though he ain't gonna watch. But what you think? Give us a quick thought on what you've seen from your Birds so far in the preseason. Then we got to move on.
All right. Yeah, because I had my pen out, trying to remember, but I guess I got to view the show. But
he left it for you in our group game time joint. We get it to you. Don't worry about it.
Or inbox me. But the quick pick of my Birds of the season or what?
Yeah, what do you think they're gonna do in the division? Where are they gonna play?
I think the defense is gonna get nasty. I know people are just so baffled about Alshon Jeffrey, and they're baffled about the offensive pickup. But to me, the defense is gonna be the soul of the team. Now, the thing I'm concerned about, because I'm concerned about the linebackers. Because other than the cornerback, within that linebacker, and one particular linebacker, which Michael Kendricks. Hopefully, Michael Kendricks could, come, play good, not miss tackles. So
he's been playing really well in the preseason, but we know, like, we've been there with him before, where he shows flashes of greatness, but there's no consistency there. Then there's injuries to boot. So a lot of people, with how he's been playing in the preseason, thinks that the Eagles' best bet would be to try to make a deal for him right now while his stock is up like that. If they believe that he won't be consistent as per status quo. Well, Rob, thanks for your call, man. Call in next week. We're going to be talking football next week, all right?
Oh, all right. Sign Kaepernick over Nick Foles, man. Tell that's for you, Dev, and B. Austin.
All right, yeah, we'll relay that for you.
A quarterback actually won a playoff game.
Heck yeah. Yo, I turned to Springer real quick.
Yeah.
That
was
crazy.
fire.
Gave him a number.
That was fire.
I was trying to get to the boxing bell. I didn't want to, even though he was giving it out, I didn't want his number to be all out there like that. You know, I had to get his joint changed. The last dude they called in here.
That was fire.
Even though we gave out his number that time. All right, so yeah, man. Speaking of the NFL, you heard Matt Stafford got his bag. He got the Brinks truck backed up to his crib in suburban Detroit. He ended up signing a 5-year extension with the Detroit Lions worth $135 million, which makes him the highest paid player in the league, which of course makes him the highest paid player ever. There's a lot of people that had stuff to say about it, but I no longer sweat these kind of contracts, no matter who they're giving them to, because it's just what it is. Like it's what the market demands. If you make Derek Carr the highest paid player in the league, then somebody's agent is going to take offense to that, and they're going to make sure that their client, if they think they have, if they have a better body of work, or if they're just a better player right now, they're going to go out and they're going to use his contract as leverage to get a little bit more. Now, the next quarterback up, if he's in the league of or better than Matthew Stafford, then his agent is going to make sure that he gets a little bit more than Stafford. It's just the way it works. And there's more money to give out in 2017, so we can't be comparing like, oh, Matthew Stafford makes more than people who are legends and Hall of Famers and this and that. The next guy up, if he's on that level, he's going to do better. So
I use this for my argument, like when people start using money as like a benchmark for greatness, right? And so I actually make the argument on the flip side when they say he's the best because he did X, Y, Z, and he made this amount of money, and I start bringing up guys like Stafford and guys who've never made anything near Stafford. So I appreciate this.
$200 million contract and threw for like 2,200 yards a season. Like, come on.
Yeah, so I actually enjoy this because it helps a lot of my arguments that I have when people like to use money as a gauge of somehow talent. You know what I mean? Like that. I don't understand that. I never will. But when you talk about sports or anything, art, anything, like you can't use that as a gauge of talent because some people are better negotiators and have better people representing them.
Yeah, I mean,
and the most important thing in any kind of business, timing.
Right. Yeah, timing, especially with these sports contracts, especially in football. Like timing is like it's the biggest factor in my opinion. Like Matthew Stafford lives and plays at a time where they're giving an up and coming Derek Carr $25 million a season. So yeah, I mean every quarterback in the top 10 who saw that contract, who's coming up on a deal, was probably praising the Lord when they saw Derek Carr get that money. You know what I'm saying? These dudes don't take it as an affront to them. They take it as, oh, that's what's up. I'm about to get paid. If I haven't just gotten paid, I'm about to get paid. So
pretty much.
And then, at the end of the day, people talk like Matt Stafford is a bum. I mean, okay, he doesn't have any playoff wins, but we know how, things get unfairly attached to the quarterback. Like even if they had playoff wins, it wouldn't have meant that it was all because of him, but he would have got those wins on his record anyway. So the fact that they don't, and we know Detroit Lions has been a choking franchise for as long as they've been in existence, we're still going to stick that on him. He doesn't have any playoff wins. I mean, I heard some people just saying stuff. They had no clue what they're talking about. Like he hadn't even made the playoffs. The Lions have actually been in the playoffs 3 of the last 6 seasons. Matthew Stafford is the only quarterback in Lions history. Now, this is setting the bar pretty low, but I'm trying to give people, I'm trying to give them a view into what exactly the Detroit Lions have been and why they feel like they have to hold on to the second or third best thing that's probably ever happened to him. He's the only quarterback in Detroit Lions history to lead the team to multiple 10-6 seasons. There's no other quarterback, Jimmy, in Lions history who's gone 10-6 or better more than once. Come on, man.
That's because they got a history of trash-ass quarterbacks.
Because they accept mediocrity. And that's just how it is. So, hell yeah, if you get somebody who's this talented and he's still doing it without his pacifier, Calvin Johnson, you gotta give him the money. You gotta give him what the market, dictates. So I'm not mad at it.
Here's what I'll say. I'll say this. Matthew Stafford, man, listen.
All right, so Derek Carr he's averaging about $25 million per season on a 5-year deal he signed in June. And Matthew Stafford will be making about $27 million per year over the life of his new 5-year deal. So shout out to all of these people. I got to check the top 10 to see who's up next because somebody about to get broke off something real nice. So, your man, this was something that we were going to talk about mostly because B. Austin, but B. Austin can't be with us today. The homie Joe Hayden, cornerback from the Cleveland Browns, was released a couple days ago. I guess we were all set to talk about that, but he actually ended up signing. And we knew Joe Hayden would get signed quickly. Like, there was a question amongst the conversations that we were having whether or not Joe Hayden was washed up. And I didn't think that the Browns releasing him had anything to do with him being washed up. They probably did him a favor. Like, he's been stuck in football purgatory for all of these years, being one of the better players in the league at his position. They kind of set him free. And for them, it's like, if he's owed about $16 million, this season, like, kind of why pay him and you aren't going anywhere? Like, why have contracts on the team for a team that's in perpetual rebuild mode every damn year? So I think they kind of did him a favor, and he ended up landing with the Pittsburgh Steelers, 3 years, $27 million. That's a good deal for the Steelers to pick up a corner of Joe Hayden's caliber.
That's crazy.
Exactly.
Shout out to Jim McCarthy, because now I got to go check all his feeds and see where he's been going.
Right.
I know he's probably going ballistic.
And then if you go back to and this is not facts, this is just me speculating, because they play the Browns a lot. He probably was calling Joe Hayden all kinds of trash when they were playing against him. But I guarantee you it's a whole different story now that he's on his team. But shout out to Rick Alto, man. But this is a steal for the Steelers, and this has been a position of need for a few years now for them. So this should be a really good addition to a team who's supposed to be a contender anyway. All right, so our stat of the week before we move on, because we got some more hot topics for you later. We got some grind topics, some birthdays, and Fred Perdue's going to come on and chop it up with us for about 5 minutes about what's going on in the college football world. But let's talk about the stat of the week. And, the only things going on is baseball, so that's why our last few have been about baseball. But shout out to Casey Mack. We know we got some strong baseball supporters out there listening right now. Your homie, Ender Enciarte, I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right. He went 5 for 5 with 4 RBIs in the Braves win in game 1 of a doubleheader against me and Jimmy's Philadelphia Phillies. You say that with a different tone these days. It's the second time this season that he went 5 for 5 or better with at least 4 RBIs in the game. He did the same thing. He went 5 for 5 with 5 RBIs in Cincinnati back in June. Only 3 other players since 1920, which is the first season in which RBIs were kept as an official stat, had 2 games in one season in which they went 5 for 5 or better with at least 4 RBIs. Joe Carter did it for the Indians in 1986. Jeff Kent did it for the Giants in 1999, and Chris Bryant did it for the Cubs in 2016. The crazy part about that stat, Jim, the fact that they said he was the fourth player, only 3 other players did it since 1920. 1920 is the year, the base year, but didn't happen until 1986. So you went like 66 years without this happening at all. And since 1986, it's happened 4 times. So,
yeah, that's crazy.
This isn't really a part of the stat of the week, but he followed up his Game 1 performance by going 3 for 5 with 1 RBI in Game 2, which gave him 8 hits and 5 RBIs in a day. So prior to him doing that, the last player with at least 8 hits and 5 RBIs in one day was Tony Olivia for the Twins back in 1969. So shout out to him for not only a great, game, the Game 1, which matched something he did back in June, but shout out to him for what he did all day to our team. I know they were upset every time.
Can I give another stat of the week?
Go ahead, no doubt. This is what we hear.
All right, cool. Right. So everybody listening knows that I ain't banging with the NFL right now. So I decided to rededicate myself to the world of hoops. And with that being said, my stat of the week this week is one Rashard Lewis from the Three-Headed Monsters. That's MVP. Right, the Big Three. MVP. I'm all about the Big Three. MVP. But listen to his stat line. He averaged 22 points per game, 7.4 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, and a block. Like, his stat line is actually kind of crazy. I mean, you think about it, but also think about it. This is the first time he's been healthy in a long time. Like, he fell out of the league not because of talent, literally because he couldn't stay, healthy. But my man put up 22, 7, 2, 1, and 1 in a half-court league, shooting like 60%.
Yeah, he was getting off. He was the MVP of the league. In a league where, you had some other people worthy of the award. 2 people from the championship team, Rashad McCants, Al Harrington, but Rashard was definitely getting it in. And shout out to Q, man, because I enjoyed the Big Three, man. I thought week 1 it was like, it left something out there where you're like, okay, this could be better. But over the weeks, it definitely got better. And speaking of cats,
you know what it was?
Injured. Your man Jermaine O'Neal, to me, just disappeared as the season went on. So most likely he probably got injured again.
So what's interesting to me about it is it kind of mirrors basketball. Basketball is a little bit, because there's so many games. I mean, NBA. Let me not say basketball. The NBA. It mirrors NBA in the sense that there's so many games in the NBA, so it's kind of like it's kind of hidden in a sense. But in basketball, as it gets closer to the playoffs and the postseason and eventually the NBA finals, like the level of play increases because, games slow down and people are playing better competition. So it kind of mirrored that in a small way because it wasn't that long. It was 8 weeks or whatever. 10 weeks, I think it was.
10 altogether.
But that championship game was tense.
Yeah, it was lit. It was definitely lit.
Definitely lit.
I thought they might I thought Trilogy might take a L after running the table throughout the whole season. But they did what they've been doing the last 3 weeks. They get down early, and then they, because they couldn't do nothing with Mahmoud. So
oh my God, Mahmoud was out there showing them the filet, yeah, and Mahmoud was out there killing. Why is Mahmoud so nice though? Still at this age, and his game is exactly the same. Like it's the same move, same everything.
It is. He just got like that real sneaky pull up that you can't do nothing about.
You can't block it. You can't do nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got top 5 pull up of all time in the history of basketball. Like we got to come up with that list. Who the top 5 pull up Jays? But he's on that list.
Yeah, he got to be on that list. All right. So before we get into some more stuff, just got to let you guys know you can check out our website at warroomsports.com. While you're there, take your time, look around, click on the Contact Us tab if you need to send us a message about the company, the show, sponsorship and advertising opportunities, the network, any general inquiries. You can just email us at info@warroomsports.com. While you're browsing the site, click the memorabilia tab, buy you some of that small baller brand merchandise. Click the blog tab. I mean, because we did have War Room Sports sneakers way before the Zo2s, but none of y'all bought them. But I ain't saying nothing about that. You can also click the blog tab to read our latest articles. In the All's Fair in Sports and More blog, click the respective icons and tabs to follow all of our social media platforms, to subscribe to the iTunes podcast, to watch our webcast at War Room Sports TV, to listen to the WRS Podcast Network, and to download our free War Room Sports mobile app. I said free, on Android and iOS to get everything I just mentioned on the go. Join the JW Philly Realty chat room right now during the show at blogtalkradio.com/The War Room. I remember those days that the chat room used to be popping. Now the homie Skyview and being there holding it down by itself, man. Where's everybody at? I know,
They got tired of arguing.
Yeah, this is the days of the podcast too, so people listen when they want to listen. So they probably try to go into the chat room.
Cats don't be by computers. So it's funny because some of the cats that used to be in the chat room, I still talk to them and they'll be there, but they're like, "Yo, I'm on my phone," or like you said, podcast.
Right. So the thing is, people probably listen on the podcast, and when we say go into the chat room, they probably try, not realizing we're not on live right now because you decided to listen later. But that ain't no problem. You can listen whenever you want because all archive episodes are on warroomsports.com. But if you happen to be listening live right now and you want to get in the chat room, just sign up for a free profile on Blog Talk Radio. If you don't have one or if you don't want to create one, you can sign in through your Facebook and Twitter accounts. But while you're there, make sure you click follow. That'll get you updates and reminders about the show. We'll be taking and the chat room and the War Room Sports Game Time group on the GroupMe app during the show. But if you want to call in and speak with us, the Digital Extreme Technologies hotline is still open for a few minutes before Fred Perdue comes on to talk a little bit of college football. Just hit us at 323-410-0012. Press 1 when prompted. If you're already listening from your phone, just press 1 if you want to holler. But while we're waiting on Fred, actually, I think Fred might be here already. So let's get Fred Perdue on the line to talk some college football. Fred, what's going on, good brother? You're in the war room.
What's going on, fellas? How y'all doing?
We're good, man.
We're
good. Just we're talking about this Money Mayweather Conor McGregor fight that was actually a little bit better than we thought it was going to be. But man, it's time to talk some football. When we got Purdue in the building, it's time to talk some football. So in the world, I'm sorry, just getting my thoughts together real quick. So let's start with, since the season basically has already started. You know, none of the big boys really got it going yet. Give us some of your predictions and your playoff and national title picks.
Well, we can kind of start. Which would you guys rather, the good or the bad? Because there's a little bit of both this year.
You can start with the good. I'm not vested. Usually you tell people to start with the bad when you're scared something's going to affect you. I don't give a damn, so you can start with the good.
So with the good, there's an emergence of old football powers. We have USC on the cusp of coming back. Clay Helton has kind of turned this team around. They have a quarterback now who may have a top 5 feel to him going into the NFL draft in Sam Darnold. I've heard even comparisons to Andrew Luck. I'm not ready to go that far, but you also have the return of Penn State. I thought that was not going to happen anytime soon. They not only returned, but made their way into a Rose Bowl and almost won it. So I look at some of these old national powers finding ways in, and the one good thing about college football is you have a lot of guys that are now starting to talk. And, you know, we don't want college football players talking because they start saying smart things. I look at guys like Josh Rosen speaking out, and we talked about this before on a few other podcasts, but I enjoy hearing the commentary from guys like Josh Rosen who are told to be quiet, but they're not being quiet anymore. Cardale Jones kind of started it, and Josh Rosen is now kind of being the guy to finish it. So it's good to see some of these old school powers and And we have some good matchups coming up. At least in the first few weeks out of conference, we know all the schools are afraid to play each other because of their rankings. So we have Michigan, Florida to start the season. Alabama, Florida State. You'll get a rematch of the '05 national championship in Texas and USC. So those will be some good matchups. And of course, it's the 10-year anniversary of the craziest season in college football, which was 2007. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can refer back to a previous episode of Quick Slants where I kind of went over that. So that's the good.
Well, no doubt. What's the bad?
Hot seats. There are a lot of coaches on hot seats, mainly in the SEC. You got a couple out west. Butch Jones at Tennessee is on one of the hottest hot seats of them all. If he didn't win last year, he really wasn't going to win now. Also, you have some surprise teams that are going to be a little bit down. The likes of schools like Michigan State, Baylor, they all have sexual assault and domestic violence attached to their names. So that's going to be something that you're not going to see. These two teams that have been kind of pushing their way forward over the last few years, and last but not least, it's a bad thing when Alabama. Well, no, I'll save that for later. I just wanted to that one. I'll save that one for a little bit later.
Okay. All right. Well, look, man. Give us your predictions, man. Who's going to take this thing when it's all said and done?
Well, for me, I look at how this college football landscape looks. You have some big-time powers like Clemson, the defending national champions. They're not losing a lot, but they have a in-division and in-conference rival in Florida State who is primed and ready to make some big moves. I said last year that DeAndre Francois, their quarterback, he took a ton of hits, and he still persevered. But he would be the ultimate boom or bust. He's the Derek Carr. I'm sorry, of college football. He could be really good or really bad based off of what we saw last year because of his progression. I think it's going to be on the really good side of things. I think he's going to potentially lead his team to a national championship, but we got to get to playoffs. We got to win our conference, then win your division or win your conference, get into the playoffs, and then we can talk about winning a national championship. But Florida State is going to be in this playoff. They were humbled in last year's playoff against Clemson. They lost 31-0. Urban Meyer's never lost like that. I think his team's going to be on a mission. They have a ton of talent. JT Barrett's coming back for what seems like his 15th year in college. And I think the passing game is going to be a lot better because, quite honestly, Kevin Wilson from Indiana's old head coach is bringing a passing offense to this team, and I think they're going to be able to throw the football a little bit more. Defense is going to be really, really good. Look out for Nick Bosa, brother of Joey Bosa, to really get after quarterbacks. So that's my first playoff matchup. And in my other playoff matchup, I have Oklahoma. Despite losing Bob Stoops, Lincoln Riley, I think, is going to really keep things steady. They have Baker Mayfield returning, Heisman runner-up at quarterback. That's going to be something to look out for. They're losing a ton offensively, but defensively they'll be fine. And of course, you already know Alabama's in it. That's something we already know. That's a given. You can put them in pin every year. But there's a little bit of instability at quarterback. Jalen Hurts may have to look over his shoulder, even if it's just kind of it's just saying, hey, we might have somebody else, just to keep you motivated. Nick Saban is good at that, and the defense is going to be really good despite having to replace some big-time stars that have moved on to the NFL. So I have Ohio State, Florida State, Oklahoma, Alabama, and for my national championship, a crazy twists and turns. A minute ago I said the 2007 season was the craziest year in college football over the last 10 years or so. So this is going to kind of go in line with that anniversary. Florida State and Alabama face off week 1. Well, they're going to see each other again in the national championship. And I'll put this prediction out here. Alabama's going to win week 1, but whoever wins the battle doesn't always win the war. Florida State is my national champion. Jimbo Fisher best his mentor, Nick Saban. Nick Saban losing back-to-back national champions. National champions. So
I'm assuming you're thinking that after week 1, Florida State's going to run the table because it's going to be difficult to get a two-loss ACC team in the mix. So.
Well, the way I look at it is they should be able to handle Clemson. They should be able to handle Louisville in division. And while they should, unfortunately, they'll see Miami twice. They'll see Miami the first time in their regular season matchup on September 19th. And they'll also see Miami in the ACC championship. So that's going to be, and that's, yeah, exactly. The first time we've seen Miami in a conference title game. So they should be able to handle. So that's going to be something that unfortunately, I don't want to see, but Florida State is geared to have a really good defense. Derwin James is coming back, and he's the closest thing I've seen to Sean Taylor since the original. If they called MJ the original and Kobe the remix, we can kind of go with that same thought process. Derwin is the remix to Sean Taylor. So,
all right, I only know Derwin Davis. Shout out to Derwin Davis. But all right, Fred. So you guys can catch Fred on the War Room Sports Podcast Network. If you want to hear some more in-depth predictions, you can check out his latest episode and the archive episodes prior to that of Quick Slants. So if you're a college football head, just go to warroomsports.com, click on the WRS Podcast Network tab, and look for Quick Slants. You can go by the titles. You can look for any topic you want to hear, or you can just go and listen to the shows. NFL heads, you can also catch Fred and myself on Cover 2 with McMillan and Purdue every week during the NFL football season, giving the in-depth analysis of everything going on out there on the football field. Fred, give them your Twitter handle. Let them know where they can find you and curse you out on Twitter.
Oh man, the Alabama faithful are going to light my Twitter up, and I understand why, because I've wrote with those guys for a while. So that's blasphemy, right? I've got burned once, and I'm not getting burned a second time. But you can reach me on Twitter at Fred Purdue CFB. Again, Fred Purdue CFB.
All right, and we'll have some information out soon about Fred's Pick'em group and his Eliminator Challenge, so stay tuned and social media on that stuff. Fred, it's good talking to you as usual, and we will talk to you next week, good brother.
All right, fellas, thanks for having me on.
All right, no doubt. Fred Purdue, everybody, college football contributor here, War Room Sports. All right, so we're about to let you guys know what happened this week while y'all were on that grind. And, of course, while you were on the grind is brought to you by DirecTV. If you like a better TV experience than cable has to offer, including some of the most extensive sports packages offered by any service, go to directtv.com and order a better TV experience. If you call yourself a sports fan, then you got to have DirecTV. All right, so, hey, Jim, remember we talked last week about the Browns and their mass national anthem protest where like 12 people kneeled during the anthem?
Yeah.
Well, in that entire thing also came the first white player to actually kneel during the national anthem. That's Browns tight end Seth Devolve. Now, there were other white players that, everybody heard about, Chris Long and people like that. But up until that point, guys had only done something like put an arm on their teammate who was protesting, or put an arm around the teammate who was protesting, or maybe, spoke in the media, but this guy actually kneeled with the other 11 guys, all black, who kneeled prior to their preseason game against the New York Giants. He said he was affected by the violence in Charlottesville the prior week. And also, this guy is married to a black woman, and he said that factored into his decision to join his teammates in protest. Here's a quote from him. He said, "I myself will be raising children that don't look like me, and I want to do my part as well as do everything I can to raise them in a better environment than we have right now. So I wanted to take the opportunity with my teammates during the anthem to pray for our country and also to draw attention to the fact that we have work to do." What is your thought about Seth Devolve and his act of protest?
I mean, it's one of those things where a lot of people these days don't have empathy, right? And we only care when something affects us directly. And it seems like, because it's children, because it's family, this affects him directly. So, I mean, it's not shocking that the first person will have someone that actually affects directly. You know what I mean? And his kids are going to see it from a whole different standpoint because, they're going to be considered black. I saw the pictures of them, like they're going to be considered black. So, I mean, I thought it was interesting, man. It's crazy at this point because I still can't believe we're talking about this because no one's talking about what the whole issue is. All we're talking about is this damn flag and whether they're disrespecting our soldiers. I don't even understand it at this point.
Right. And like for me, I'm not the one who wants us and every protest that we have or everything we're trying to get accomplished to have to lean on white people to do things for us. But we do know how things work here in America. So it's like, when somebody white does it, then maybe, just maybe, you'll get a few ears to actually listen to what the message is. But at the same time, this particular protest has been going on so long by Colin Kaepernick. People have already made their final determination on how they're going to act towards this. So I'm pretty sure he lost a lot of fans, if he had any fans in the process, or at least he probably got dogged out by a lot of his white brethren about joining those guys. I'm not going to say nothing crazy. Joining those guys in that protest. You know how it is. Just like when there's a black guy who steps over the line and maybe speaks out against somebody like that, then all of a sudden he's like everybody's favorite black guy because he spoke out against another black guy. So you know how that goes. They probably just disowned him. They still got the population on their side. It's not a thing to lose one. But even though it probably did take something that would affect him to do it, I'm still happy that he did it. And, I just hope, like you just said, that people dead set against this would realize and acknowledge one day what the actual cause is and stop making up their own stuff just to have a opposing opinion. So shout out to Seth.
People have chose sides, and that's just what it's going to be. People don't really listen. They don't care to understand nuance. They don't care to understand how someone can feel different than them. It's like they choose a side, and that's it. Right. Like it's like a conversation I was having today with some white brothers. Like, there was some, the positivity that's going on down there with the hurricane and a lot of people driving down to help out other people. There were guys in a conversation that I was a part of basically saying, this is what America looks like, and don't let the media fool you. But I'm like, that's kind of insulting to me as a black guy because we can't show some good deeds and then, want to ignore everything. I mean, because if that's what America is, then basically you're telling us we've been lying for the past 400 years. Like, we've been lying about our experience here in America. Okay, there are some good people out here. Nobody said that everyone was evil. But so when Eric Garner is getting choked and says, "I can't breathe," is that's not what America is too?
That's not America. No.
Now you can't pick and choose. You got to pick the good with the bad, man. Like, you know, if you're in a relationship with a girl that you truly care about, but she has like a gas problem or something, that's the good with the bad, man. You know what I mean? Like if you go to a school that you absolutely love, but the cafeteria food is trash, that's still part of the experience. Like, listen, man, life is all about taking the good with the bad. So it's like cut it out with the nonsense. Like you just want to cherry pick the good and say this is what we are. We're all of it.
Right, no doubt.
Not
all
perfect.
right. Speaking of that whole situation, Aaron Rodgers spoke out on behalf of Colin Kaepernick. He definitely said that he would continue to stand for the flag. You know, he's not ready to take it there, but he said he's definitely not on a roster because of his protests, and he said that he should be on a roster right now. So people are basically fooling themselves by acting as if it's anything but his protest that's keeping him off of an NFL roster right now. What do you think of the comments from the quarterback god?
I think that it didn't get as much news or attention as I thought it would. When I saw this, I was like, ooh, but then it just got kind of like washed over. It didn't really get as much attention as I thought. Yeah, it didn't get as much attention as I thought it would, for one. And for two, I mean, he's absolutely right. When you think about it, right, people try to like blame this on his play. And listen, don't even take that approach with me. You can blame it on all kinds of other things about the attention that he may want to draw, but don't say it's because he can't play, because I don't think there's a chance for a guy to go to Super Bowl 2 years from now, still be under 30 years old, and not get a chance. People bring back quarterbacks off retirement, out of like off the street. Like Kurt Warner was bagging groceries. Like the thing about the quarterback position is, like, you know, it's only a few that are good at any given time. So people continuously get opportunities. So that whole thing about him not being able to play is it's just ridiculous. That is also insulting.
Yeah, it definitely is. It definitely is. Like I said, I've never been this great proponent of Colin Kaepernick and his quarterbacking skills, but I still stand by what we've been saying lately. Like, there's no way. I mean, because everything is relative. Like, we talked about Colin Kaepernick relative to what he was. He was a starting quarterback in the NFL. At one point, he was a star quarterback in the NFL. He was on a team that was competing for Super Bowls year after year. So relative to what his position was and the guys that he was named with, I don't think Colin Kaepernick was that great. But the fact that he can't get into the NFL, period, come on. If you think that's just based on the merit of his play, then you're choosing to ignore, you know, what America really is. You're choosing to ignore it. But
that's not America. America's only the good stuff.
Yeah, only. Yeah, when there's a natural disaster and everybody's gung ho to go help everybody. But you know, there's context in that too, and I'm not even gonna get into that right now unless anybody wants to call in and talk about that. We can 323-410-0012. Press 1 when prompted, and you can holler at us about anything you want. Mike Vick joins Fox Sports as an NFL studio analyst. Does this surprise you in the least, considering what Mike Vick was in the news for lately?
What about black on black crime?
I think it's interesting, like this for like him to get the job this fast. Like, people act like Mike Vick wasn't the most hated man, and I mean, he still is one of the most hated guys.
This job is actually being protested by an animal rights group called Rally for Animals. They want Fox to fire him immediately.
Yeah, so that's interesting, man. And you know, Fox a lot of times doesn't care. It's all about who can move the needle. I don't even know. Like, people like to say, well, Fox might be racist, but Fox also doesn't care. They just don't care. Didn't they just hire the chick like Tommy Lauren?
They don't care. I mean, especially that, like Fox News. We know that their other entities are I mean, of course, they're owned by the same people, so that ideology might be prevalent among the executives in the but he definitely
it's all about
separated because he got Fox and Friends over here, and then he got Shannon Sharp, the Black Revolutionary, on Fox Sports 1, so you don't know what the hell they're about these days.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. He's also polarizing on the other side. So it's like for him, it's like, who's going to draw attention? I don't care what they're saying. It could be hate speech. It could be love speech. But who's going to draw this attention?
Yeah. But I definitely wasn't surprised to see that report come up. Not that I didn't know he was up for the job, but I wasn't surprised to see it. I mean, the day after he said those things about Colin Kaepernick, he was put onto the Kansas City Chiefs staff as like an interim coach or something like that, like a coach in practice. So like the opportunities, and this might be a thing of timing. We might be reading too much into this, but it seems like after he was willing to go out there and unfairly go at another black man, the opportunities come rolling in for the homie. I don't want the homie to ever be without, so I want him to be prosperous for the rest of his life. I don't have anything against him, his wife I consider a friend. So, all of that affects her and the family and all that kind of stuff. And he walked back the stuff that he said about Colin Kaepernick, and he apologized and all that kind of stuff. It is what it is. He got himself a new job. Good for him. I hope he's good at it. But we'll see why they really wanted you. Was it because they think you're good at it, or they think this is the type of dude you're going to be? Like, you're going to be out there going at people who are, in our eyes, doing something positive. So, I don't know. I just don't be good, brother. Don't be on there Whitlocking, because it seemed like you did your audition with Whitlock. So I hope it wasn't him. Might have been Whitlock that went in there like, ooh, I didn't expect that from Mike. Can we give him a job? So we'll see. He'll be in the studio with Tony Gonzalez, Dave Wanstead, a couple other people, and Colin Cowherd and somebody else. They're doing a morning studio show on Fox. I guess it's on Fox Sports 1, because I know they're not doing Terry, Howie, Strahan. I know they're not taking their jobs. So I think this is the FS1. All right, so your man Le'Veon Bell. I don't know if this is true or not, man. This story is we got this off of Black Sports Online. Somebody else we've had the pleasure of meeting, but I don't know all the ways about what's on that site. Seems a little gossipy at times, but allegedly Le'Veon Bell has gotten 3 women pregnant at the same time. A side chick, one was like a Rams cheerleader, a girlfriend, and a fiance, all pregnant at the same time. So maybe that's why he's holding out for a bigger bag. I don't know. What's up with your man Le'Veon? Ricalto will defend this.
Yo, he's just out there living his life, man. He's being a professional athlete, just trying to go along with all stereotypes. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you ain't tripping with nobody. My man was raw dog and 3 at the same time. Come on, King. What's wrong with you, dog? And Le'Veon Bell is like, arguably the best running back in the league.
Right. Arguably. I don't know if this is true. Like, yeah, he's definitely bugging right now. But we'll see. We'll see. Like I said, I don't give every site the same props I give TMZ. Like TMZ, a lot of people look down on them, but I still think TMZ is rarely wrong. We'll see what's up with Le'Veon. Jim, you want to let everybody know who's having a birthday before we jump into some more hot topics?
And you already know it's all about these birthdays, which is brought to you by Digital Extreme Technologies. Do you or your business need a custom website? Well, for dynamic, professional, and most of all, affordable custom websites, you have to visit Digital Extreme Technologies. That's digitalextremetech.com. Or you can call them at 267-205-4203. And guess what? Because you heard about it on the War Room, you can put something on it. Financing options are available. digitalextremetech.com, and that number is 267-205-4203. If you got a Wix site and you're operating the business, you're not really in business, you're faking the funk, get you a custom website from Digital Extreme Tech. Now, it's time to give some birthday shout-outs.
Yeah, the Wix site kill yourself, but before you kill yourself, close your business.
The first birthday is young OG. Lawrence Fitzgerald turns 34.
Nice hands, Larry.
Man. How about this one right here? Chris Duhon turns 35.
Had a spark when you started.
Yeah, pretty much, more or less.
When's the last time he played in the league? Like, I didn't think Chris Duhon, like, I was surprised he was in the league for as long as he was anyway, but when was the last time he got a chance?
He popped in that big three. And last but not least, the legend, Frank Robinson, turned 82 years of age.
Who will pick him up on the big three? I'm like, I don't know damn Chris Duhon.
Hopefully they're expanding, man. You know what I mean? Constant elevation, mind expansion. I ride around while I cool in my mansion. Anyway, but
and they can come back with 15 teams next year, and Chris Duhon will not have a spot.
This might be true. All depends upon who wants to play. That's when it's going to get interesting, when you start seeing some of the better cats come back and, like, knock these jabronis off teams, like when Paul Pierce and all these dudes want to come back. Like, you know what I mean? Like, when you start seeing them come back, when Deron Williams wants to come out of retirement and play on the big three, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Oh, my fault.
He'll get off there. I don't know. He looked like a shell of himself in the NBA, but
my bad. I forgot he's still in the league. But anyway,
can you play in the summertime? I guess it's against your contract rules. But you can play in the Olympics. They'll make you play for your country, but
yeah. You better not sit down and put a flag. Oh, what about the Olympics next time? I want to see how people. No, man. Let's not even get into that talk right now. Anyway,
somebody will get shot on the spot.
Man, listen. The legend Frank Robinson turns 82. Salute to the legend Frank Robinson. And we like to give a nice, big, warm salute to all of these folks on their birthday or their birthday week.
My birthday, yay!
All right, before Jimmy gets back into some more hot topics, you guys can check out our website at warroomsports.com, but to call in and speak with us about any of today's topics, especially the ones we're about to talk about, dial the Digital Extreme Tech Hotline at 323-410-0012. Press 1 when prompted. But if you're already listening from your phone, just press 1 if you want to talk.
Yes, sir. More hot topics. Listen, if your schedule is too hectic to read as much as you want, try audiobooks and kick back and let someone else do the reading for you. Visit Audible. You can do that by going to audibletrial.com. And in no time, you can listen to a lot of, great bestseller books. There's a lot of great books out there. I just finished listening to Sojourner Tell Her Truth. That was bars right there. But anyway, audibletrial.com. Salute the Audible. Listen, man, the first one I want to bring up, I want to see how you feel about this one. An ESPN analyst is not calling games in 2017 due to the safety concerns of football. And this guy said he was making a cushy six-figure job to show up like once a week and talk his trash. But when, he reads about what's going on and reads some of the reports about what athletes are suffering with, he couldn't do it in good conscience. So what do you think about that?
Shout out to Ed Cunningham, man. Yeah, he's definitely an announcer for college football. I'm always good to see people stand up for what they believe in, even if it's something that I don't believe in. Hey, and I'm not saying that about him. I'm just saying because I know the next thing people will say to us is like, oh, we all say that now, but y'all didn't say that when the Nazis was marching. Hey, if that's what they believe in, stand up. That don't mean we won't knock your ass down, but stand up. So shout out to Ed Cunningham for definitely standing up in something he believes in. We know, because we've covered it over the past 5 years or so, the NFL, which also leaks down to the college, to the high school, to the Pop Warner level of this, we found out a whole lot of new information about what the dangers of head trauma is in football. And, we've heard recently, because a lot of people think that you have to matriculate up to the NFL level and these NFL players are retiring with CTE. But look, football is, collision after collision on every level you play. And just like everything else, like your brain, the size of your brain, the trauma that your brain takes, it's all relative. If you're, a little dude, people might Pop Warner dudes are like 100 pounds, man. Okay, but you got a smaller brain. So the impact that 100-pound body is taking is the same as when you're a fully grown man with a fully developed brain and you're taking hits like that from 200 and 300-pound people. We found a lot out about the game, and we all know, especially in the NFL, that the league hasn't been honest with its players, with its retirees, and it just trickles down. Like we heard a report a few weeks ago from the doctor who brought this all to light. Shout out to my man, Tell the Truth. He's basically saying now that allowing your kid to play football and the youth, football, Pop Warner, all that kind of stuff is akin to child abuse. And we know some people who not only allow their kids to play, they encourage their kids to play. They're the ones that's kind of pushing it. And he's comparing that with child abuse. So if Ed Cunningham, who I believe used to play football,
Tell the truth.
No doubt. I think he was a former NFL player himself. He played in the NFL. So he probably, one of those people affected by the league withholding information and basically lying to their players for decades. Man, if you believe in this and you were willing to give up a nice, cushy job at ESPN for it, then I salute you and I support you.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's pretty much nothing else to say. I mean, it's scary times. I was looking at an article that B. Austin had posted on his page today about a former NFL player who can, barely walk. It's kind of sad. This dude's wife has to take care of him. He's a fairly young guy overall. But as these stories come out, man, I don't know what the future of the game holds, but I know that as long as people out there are hungry and want to make a living doing that, they're going to be willing to do it. But, salute to them for putting their life on the line.
Yeah.
They put their life on the line.
Before we do move on off of this, I want to read his quote. He said, I know a lot of people who say, I just can't cheer for the big hits anymore. I used to go nuts, and now I'm like, I hope he gets up. And they said while he was saying this, his eyes welled up with tears. He said, it's changing for all of us. I don't currently think the game is safe for the brain. And, oh, by the way, I've had teammates who have killed themselves. Dave Dorson put a shotgun to his chest so we could study his brain. And, that Dave Dorson story was crazy because if they depicted him accurately in that movie that Will Smith was the star of, then, Dave Dorson was a part of the league at the time, not a player. He was an executive with the league at the time, and he was towing the company line, and he was telling the doctor who was telling him about CTE, FOH, basically.
Yeah.
While the whole time he was suffering himself and ended up shooting him. If you shoot yourself in the chest to make sure your brain gets studied, then you believed everything that man tried to tell you. But you were just doing what you thought you had to do for your job and for that shield.
Pretty much.
Crazy.
That protective shield thing goes way too far, yo. It's like the mafioso.
Yo, the shield. Name one. Name one. Police shield, NFL shield, Tyson, Jordan, Jackson. Name one.
Yeah, we gotta get a War Room Sports shield, and y'all better hold us down and protect our shield, yo.
I know, because y'all be holding these other junkies down.
But B got a shield, man. Shout out to that trophy shield. Anyway, man.
B also got the white supremacy shield.
Yo. Listen, man, one of the biggest stories in the National Basketball Association is this whole Celtics-Cavalier trade. It's been crazy with, injuries to Isaiah Thomas, the whole thing with, Barry being sent to Boston, Jersey being burnt, trade called off, Cleveland trying to stick him up for more picks. What's your take on this entire thing?
First of all, remember when we talked about it last week, I actually brought this up. And we were talking about how, with the excitement of the trade and everybody talking about which players are being swapped and does it make this team better? Does it make that team better? remember we brought up last week that I think everybody's forgetting that Isaiah Thomas left the Eastern Conference Finals last year with a hip injury that he never got surgery on. So I was wondering, through all the talk and all that stuff, like, why do we not hear anybody mentioning the fact that this dude is injured? Is he okay? Like, how is Cleveland going to trade for him? And he might not be okay. So when he had his physical, I presume he didn't do too well on the physical. So Cleveland, but this is the thing. This is why, Jim, I hear you and I hear other people say Cleveland, because of it, tried to stick him up for an extra pick. This had to be. Cleveland knew that the dude had. They were the ones they were playing against when he left and never had surgery.
That was somebody else in our chat. I don't think they were sticking him up. I think they did what they should have done.
Like, I mean, if you can get away with it, you definitely get away with it. But I think they had to know the whole time that there had to be some concern with the dude. But, you're in a situation where people say you had to deal Byrie. I still think they didn't have to do a damn thing. He's still under contract. But if you feel you're in a situation where you have to trade him and you want to try to get back as much as you can, first of all, why are you trading with – I'm not going to call this team your arch rival because it's not like that. But right now, while they're both on the top of the conference, that's how everybody's going to look at it. So it's like, why are you trading with your biggest competition right now? And, they went back. And at the end of this, Jim, they ended up with another pick, a 2020 second-round pick that Boston got from the Miami Heat. I mean, we all know that Boston had picks for days that they were hoarding. Yeah. So, they had it to give, and Cleveland made them give it. I don't think, on top of what they've already given, I don't think a 2020 second-round pick is really going to hurt them much.
Nah.
And the way Danny does business, he'll replenish. He'll get the picks back. So.
Yeah, pretty much.
So it's a done deal.
Second round picks don't seem at a value that they used to no more.
Yeah, I mean you'll get a gem every once in a while, but I don't think people trade for second round picks with that expectation in mind.
Yeah.
Oh, I got this second round, boy. We about to get it. Like, nah. You pick somebody in the second round that you think might be able to make your team, and if they make your team and then end up being a Gilbert Arenas or somebody, then you won. But nobody goes into it with that expectation. But it's a done deal now. Byrie's in Boston. IT, Crowder, the new Big Z, the pick are all in Cleveland now, which is crazy though, because how does Isaiah Thomas feel about this? I mean, I know he doesn't care because the team he's on gets stronger with all the stuff that they got, but how does he feel that the Celtics had to give up that much to get Kyrie? I'm pretty sure he feels he's every bit as good as Kyrie.
Yeah, he does. He has to. In order to play. Here's the thing that I always find interesting about like people and their perception of like athletes or what have you is they call some guys arrogant and other guys because they don't seem to come off as arrogant, like they're not arrogant. When you play at the highest level, when you're an all-star, even an all-star, you have to have a certain level of arrogance to be able to compete at that high of a level. So in his head and the way he plays the game, that he thinks he's just as good. And, he may use this as motivation to go out there and even take it up another notch. Who knows? It all depends upon how mentally strong he is. I mean, he's dealt with a lot over the last season, the way he lost a family member, the way his season ended, then to be thrown in, trade when he's just trying to get a nice little bag. So we'll see what he's made of. We'll see how he reacts to this.
Yeah, and Kyrie, he had a video on social media recently thanking the fans of Cleveland. What the hell you got to say for 4 whole minutes? I don't know. I haven't watched it yet. But I will take a look at it and see what Kyrie had to say. But if I know the fans of Cleveland, I'm sure they're watching it, but I'm sure afterwards it's not going to be oh, thank you too, man. Thank you for everything you did. I'm pretty sure now that the trade is official, especially, there's going to be some videos of his jersey burning because this is what people do these days.
Not
realizing how much of a symbol of hatred that is, Ku Clan members.
That's like a new thing, man.
Yeah, and people don't realize the seriousness of that. Like the symbolism of you burning something essentially that you view as belonging to someone that you hate. Like, that's serious, man. Like sports fans take things way too far. I mean, and you're the idiot anyway because you paid for it, so you're burning your own money, really.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna buy this jersey so I can burn it and prove a point. Like, what point are you proving? Sun's on hold. Sun's on hold.
And how about those ones? The ones who didn't even have one, that went out and got one just to burn it. Like, yo.
Yeah, people crazy, yo.
Still putting money in his pocket, the league's pocket.
Yeah. So what do you think now that everything's official? What does it do on the court?
It's one of those things where I still think, I think it makes both teams better, but I still think Cleveland is the team to beat in the Eastern Conference. And we say this with the Boston Celtics actually getting the number 1 seed last year. I don't think there are a lot of people outside of Boston who really believed in that number 1 seed. And Cleveland proved it to you in the playoffs when they damn near swept them. The only win they got was off an emotional game after Isaiah Thomas went out with his injury that he's still suffering from. So it's still Cleveland.
But the thing is, though, right, so Boston has some young talent, and, Kyrie's not that old of a guy. Do you think they can actually put something together with the picks they have remaining? Now they got Kyrie as, kind of the cornerstone of the franchise. At this point, he's the face. They got, a young rookie coming in, top 5 rookie now, and they still have some picks left. They got some pieces.
They do, Jim, but the Eastern Conference, I look at like this, it's until LeBron is fully out of his prime and he doesn't have the pull to command that his franchises put a lot around him, like the Eastern Conference is going to belong to those dudes, man. You're going to have some up-and-coming teams trying to challenge with, I still view Boston as one of them. But I still think they got to wait their turn. Like, either LeBron really has to make that move over to L.A., like people have been rumoring, or the bull got to die, or they just got to wait a few more years until he runs out of prime gasoline. But like right now, he's still running on premium. So when LeBron start running on regular, then a team like the Celtics, they are young enough to be prime to try to pounce. But the problem with that is, by the time that happens, you'll have teams like Philly, teams like Milwaukee. You'll have the Eastern Conference getting stronger and a lot of teams ready to pounce. So if Boston can't make this move and actually do something now, which I don't think they'll do, like it's not going to get any easier for them because the conference is going to get more competitive at some point.
Yeah, they creating a fake rivalry, though. I like how they call it a rival. Like, I keep seeing things like traded to their rivals or their rival. They so hungry for rivals, yo. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Cleveland has a rival with Golden State now. I'm like, okay, that might be close to being a rival, but,
that gets legit when you've been in the finals 3 times in a row and probably going to do it a 4th time. That's Lakers Celtics right there. So. Yeah,
but now they're trying to make Boston a rival. And the other one is Golden State. And what's the one? Golden State and OKC. That's not a rival.
OKC. Yeah, it can't be a damn rival. OKC's best player left and joined y'all. That's a rivalry.
Yeah,
that's the pipeline to y'all talent. Y'all better try to get Russ. That's all it.
Yo, man. Yo, man. Another quick question, man. Are we talking about the hoops? Because right now this is where my heart is. Did you watch the first couple episodes of the new Ball Family reality show?
I watched one. I watched the opening joint that you showed me, you sent me. I did end up watching it, and hey, I got my guilty pleasures, and so far I love it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, like that's the crazy part, right? Like, and we know it's funny, right? Because here's the thing: it's 2 episodes that dropped thus far. I watched both of them. We know the point of it is to kind of like brand the family, put them in a good light, do a big commercial for their brand. But it's like for some reason you still fall for the okie doke, even though you know that's what they're giving you. It kind of makes you like the family and root for them. It's like I know this is what you're doing, but I still like it.
But that's the thing, though. I've never been against anything that he's doing. I've never been against anything that he's doing, but I'm also not the person that's 100% agreeable at all times with anybody. A lot of these polarizing figures, people take sides, and it's like you're either with them or against them. Like LeVar Ball, this whole time, I've given him compliments about certain things, and I've given him hell about other things. And it's going to remain that way about him and about everybody else I talk about on this show, because there's nobody in this world, not even my damn self, that I agree with 100% of the time. Yeah, I argue with myself in my head, and I don't agree with myself.
Did you say not even yourself?
I'm crazy sometimes. I argue with myself in my head, and we do not always see eye to eye.
No.
So I've been on the record of saying that. You can't expect me to do that with others.
There are things that like there's no single person on this earth or other planet, and even Jesus. I don't agree with everything that anybody does. Like, I just it's not in my nature too, right? But at the same time, that I just hope that most people the good outweighs the bad, right? So, it's about doing the right thing and not the wrong thing, and also doing the right thing for the right reason. But this show is like I know what it's for. I still fall for it. And I'm actually looking forward to it. And I'm interested to see like how they do, considering the way they chose to put it out there. Like I heard they had deals from everybody, but LeVar Ball's on his joint. He wanted to do something new, so this is digital only. So it comes on Facebook and it's all over YouTube at this point. But it's a Facebook show.
And for me, Jim, since LeVar is the real star, I think it would have gone on either way. But the fact that Lonzo is staying home with the Lakers, it makes it work that much more. You know what I mean? Because you can still incorporate him without sending cameras across the country, somewhere to get minimal footage of him. But no, I'm definitely interested. Like I said, there's going to be some stuff where I say, "Oh, that was BS," but so their story is one that you can appreciate. Like I got kids. I'm going to be, whether it's sports, academics, whatever, I'm going to be coaching my kids up to be the best they can be as well. Like everything LeVar is doing, like I might not do in the exact same way. But you just can't be mad at that. The hilarious part, though, every single person who made an appearance on that camera had on some Big Baller brand merchandise. Even the grandparents.
First off,
they probably don't even
grandparents.
Like
I watch the show, and the only thing I can say is, man, this is America. But anyway, with that being said, like the grandparents had it. His brothers pulled up; they all had it on. I'm like,
Mom
this is
had
a walking
it on coming out of the hospital after having a stroke.
Still triple beat up.
They took her some stuff to the hospital. I also think this though, the fact that it takes the general public so long to get anything they order from Triple B's, that's probably why, because they on to the people on the show. So that's probably my shirt. That's probably my shirt one of them dudes had on. Shout out to the homie Wallace Wade, because he got his, before all of this started, even though it took like 3-4 months for him to get his shirts. But
either that or they was waiting for this to say make people want to put it on more. Who knows? Yeah. But it definitely caught my eye. I'm definitely looking forward to watching the new episodes as they come out. Interested to see, like I said, how this platform works out, because not only is it engaging content, I want to see how it works in terms of new media. Like, is Facebook going to become a TV station? Because here's the thing about Facebook, right? Facebook on the low, like, your man Zuckerberg is an animal, because he already went after Snapchat, like, directly. Like, are you going to steal their stuff and not only put it on your Instagram, but you're going to put it on your Facebook? You're going to put it on your Facebook Messenger? You can do snaps on WhatsApp, which is a text platform they own. So, wow. But even beyond that, right? So as I'm looking on Facebook now, there's like so many things within the Facebook Messenger. You can FaceTime people the same way you can on an iPhone.
Wow.
You can group chat the same way you can on a Hangout. I'm like, yo, this
So you're basically saying that Zuckerberg is basically Nino Brown. If y'all don't roll with us, we roll right over y'all.
Listen, he don't want nobody to eat, man, and it's crazy because now they're trying to become a somewhat of a they're getting original content on some Netflix stuff, like, and this was a good show to have as one of their first shows. I'm interested to see that.
Speaking of not wanting nobody to eat, shout out to the homie, man, because Amazon. We always say that Amazon is one of those companies that don't want nobody else to eat, but actually they want everybody to eat because now that they cop Whole Foods, they dropping the prices for Amazon Prime members because the homie wants us to eat. I'm feeling that.
Dog.
I just had to give that shout out. Good to check.
Yeah, salute to them, man. Amazon Prime makes you feel special, yo. Them black stickers is on your door when you get the crib. You got that box with that black sticker.
Yo,
for like $1 million bucks, yo.
I'm like the elite of society. Oh, you're not a Prime member? You peasant.
Yeah, and it's crazy. It's crazy, right? Because like, there's so much stuff. Some stuff small, some stuff big. Like I be forgetting it. When I come, it's like an instant like feeling of euphoria. Like, look, I got my black Prime box. I don't even know what's in the junk.
Like, and a lot of people don't even know that Amazon Prime is way more than free 2-day shipping. But even if you just want to look at it at like that, if people order as much stuff yearly as you and I do you know how much money that we save in shipping just because of that? Even if that's the only feature of Amazon Prime that you want to highlight, do you realize how much money per year we save in shipping? Because I think that I only shop at Amazon.
I think Netflix like opened the gate for like this whole new wave of business, right? Because they essentially, and I've heard the CEO of Netflix say this, he came up with the idea while being in the gym, and he realized like, damn, I don't never go to the gym, but I keep paying my membership. And it clicked. Like, what if I could do this with movies where, most people will use it, but a lot of people have Netflix and they pay it every month and they won't use it. So it saves them bandwidth. It saves them everything. This is when they had CD. So a lot of people have Prime and don't utilize it. I read the other day that like over 8 million people are Prime members. That's a lot of people.
Yo, when I first started Netflix, Jim, first of all, I was silly when I first started Netflix because, that was back in the days when they still could send you DVDs or Blu-rays.
Yeah.
So the crazy part, that was my primary thing, getting the Blu-rays and, being hyped like, I can send this back when I want, and holding on to stuff for like 6 months. Like, that's what the value was to me. And that's not all my fault because Netflix library used to be trash until they started making their own series and the joint got lit off the hook. But I was looking into the wrong value, and like now, I still don't use as much as I can because I just don't have the time. But my kids use it. They got their own little profiles on it. Like,
but when you think about it, right? If you watch one movie a month, it's worth it. Just from the standpoint of what it used to cost to go to Blockbuster or Arrows or I say Arrows. I'm old as hell.
West Coast Video, shout out.
So shout out to West Coast Video, yo. Remember back in the video stores, they had like the special room where they had the special films, but that's either here nor there.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to West Coast Video, man. But my
look
point is, like,
before you walked in there because you was too young to be in there. You had to make sure nobody saw you.
Netflix has changed culture, man, because it's hard for me to watch anything on TV live, and I want to see the whole season at one time. But they kind of like cracked it open with now everybody like, nickel and diming you every month. So instead of just hitting you up one time, let me get $2 from you every month. And it's subscriptions that people probably have now where they forget that they're actually paying it. So subscription is the new thing.
I'm sorry, I got quiet for a minute, man. You brought back, you made, that was a nostalgic moment right there. You brought back some memories, man. There wasn't a better feeling in the world than like a Friday night when your mom come home with them 2 big ass tape boxes.
Yo, big ass boxes,
2 hot movies to watch, and the VCR, it was no better feeling in the world, man. I used to spend time just going to the joint and just looking at the covers and stuff. It took me forever to pick something. It was like an experience going to the store. That's why it was better when they didn't take me and they just brought them home because I was gonna hold everybody up. And then at that age, you ask for every movie you see because you don't know that your parents aren't rich. You know what I mean? So you ask for E.T. and this and that.
It's crazy, right? Because so I have a 12-year-old nephew, and I've talked to him and I was actually talking about this a couple of months ago, and he's like, he doesn't believe that this thing like this existed before, because he doesn't know anything like it. And it's funny, that's how you know you get. That's how you know you get know when you start talking to young people, and they're like, "What?" Like for instance, I give you another thing that was completely hilarious to me. When I showed him on YouTube that Will Smith used to rap, he didn't believe me. He thought Will Smith's an actor. What do you mean he rapped?
That's amazing. Me and Chase were just listening to Will Smith today, and I was explaining to him because he knows Carlton, he knows Alfonso Ribeiro because we watch America's Funniest Home Videos every week, and he's the new host. Mm-hmm. So he knows him. Okay. So sometimes when he's home, if the Fresh Prince is on, he'll be like, "Oh, that's Alfonso," and then I try to explain to him who Will Smith is, and then he heard me listen. I guess I was listening to the 80s station or Backspin or something, and he heard Nightmare on My Street come on. He actually liked it. So when we got home today, he asked Google Home to play Nightmare on My Street. So when he did that, I'm like, I guess he's taking an interest. So I had to explain to him who Will Smith. I mean, your nephew already knows who Will Smith was. I had to do the whole thing with him because he's younger. Yeah, but that's crazy that we've been both giving Fresh Prince lessons.
Yeah, but it's just hilarious because he knows him from television, he knows him from watching movies, right? And it's crazy, right? I didn't even get into the whole Ice Cube thing, but it's like
Ice Cube, Queen Latifah.
Their experience with these people are totally different. So that's how you know when you get know. And what does this have to do with the LeVar Ball show? I don't know how we got here, but
I actually forgot what we were talking about.
We were talking about LeVar Ball. Oh, yeah, because we were talking about the fact that he, instead of going to VH1, which everybody thought he was, he decided to try something new. So I'm interested to see how this works out in this new medium. But regardless of how it works out, the one thing I can say is, I watched it. I sent it to a couple people, and everybody who watched it said the same thing, I like them. And I'm like, you do realize that's the point.
Well, Mona would have, if they'd have gone to VH1, Mona would have made it ratchet.
Mona would have had Zoe cheating on this girl the first episode. There would have been some drinks thrown somewhere.
With some stage chick, wondering how she ended up in the same place as them. There's so many people.
Mona got a joint, a drink has to be thrown every show, That's just what it is.
No doubt. Let's get up out of here, man. Because I'm about to go find some old VHS tapes in my garage, man. I'm about to go watch one.
Well, let's get out of here, man. Everybody, make sure y'all tune into that. What's it called? Family Ball Ball in the Family. You see what they did there. Anyway, man, another amazing episode, man. Thank you to everyone for joining us for another briefing in the War Room. Shout out to everybody in the chat room because we had a couple people come back in. People on Facebook, Twitter, people in our group app who are hitting us up, sending us messages. Salute.
And the Jerry Springer.
The callers that got in. We appreciate it. I think there's a couple callers still left out there we couldn't get to. We apologize, but hit us up next week. Listen, man, NFL is getting ready to start, even though I won't be watching. So tune in next week, live right here on demand on the WRS Podcast Network for our 8th annual NFL opening night kickoff special. So until then, enjoy your weekend. We'll see you right back here next time. Be sure to catch our conversations on Facebook, Twitter, all of our blogs, webcasts, network podcasts. Everything we do can be found at warroomsports.com. Pick up my book, Sports the Book, at sportsthebook.com, or you can also get it at the Hub. That's warroomsports.com. So until next time, everybody, as we always say, don't accept mediocrity. Be steadfast in the war against ignorance, and we'll see you chumps on top.
6 to 8 they do this. Shout out to Dev, PJ, B. Austin, Doc Bay on replay. OneRoomSports.com. Get that mobile app. It's not dialed. 323-1400-12. They be going and you sensitive, then oh well. Physical podcast, let's talk sports. Showtime like magic in the block push. Listen live, push one to join in. Rip your team I ain't talking college. 5 guys, no beef though. Corporate secret, but the streets know. Belafonte, I got a G flow. KC, royalty, I'm in beast mode. 2 hours, get your game up. Who's the best in sportscast? You better name us. War Room Sports. Yeah, you know, Jimmy, Deb, PJ, Shot Bang, the officer. I'm shot. Up and coming on the beat.
War Room Sports, www.warroomsports.com. What? Ain't no more to it.
With free next-day delivery from Staples, you can run your business like a pro. You can guarantee the marketing department that they'll get their supplies tomorrow and guarantee the accounting department that they'll be delivered free. With free next-day delivery, you'll have the ability to move deadlines up and adjust budgets down. Go to Staples.com and get the office essentials you need delivered next day for free. Staples. It's pro time. Orders over $49.99 placed by 5 p.m. Excludes weekends and holidays. Eligible items only.
At Boar's Head, we place a premium on authenticity, and the home-roasted flavor of our Ever-Roast chicken is no exception. Inspired by a medley of ingredients from the garden, a family recipe, and slow-roasted craft. It's the authentic taste of home and the unmatched quality of Boar's Head. Ever-Roast chicken, sliced fresh at the deli, only from Boar's Head. Compromise elsewhere.